He's getting older.
I can't see you though, bitch.
Oh, hit the full button.
But not wiser.
Kiss my ass, you don't like it. It's my house.
This is The Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to The Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be here with all of you today. Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. The 15th of August in the year of our Spaghetti Monster 2014 for episode number 75 of The Lefty Show. Welcome one, welcome all to the show. I thank you all for watching, liking, favoriting on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can find the show in its YouTube formation. Thank everybody for following me on Twitter at Lefty643 is where you can do that. And I also thank you all for sharing the show, helping the show grow by sharing it with friends, family, and co-workers. LeftyShow.podbean.com is where you can find us. Thanks to Podbean.com putting us up on the homepage, podbean.com. You can go see us there. And thank you to everybody that has, again, been sharing the show. You can find us on Android and the iOS iTunes store. Just search The Lefty Show. Wherever you get your podcasts, you will be sure to find us there. Be sure to subscribe, download all the episodes that you want to listen to, and share the show with everybody. Say, hey, check this out. The show's amazing. While you're joining the protests in Ferguson, Missouri, go ahead and share the show. Listen to me rant about it. Let me fuel the fire. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. I remember there was a closer. He was a closer for the Milwaukee Brewers who had that Metallica song as his intro. He was the ugliest person you would ever want to meet. And just a big, dumb mule who could throw the ball like 100 miles an hour. But he was just bad. But every single time that he came into a game, he could give up 5 runs. He'd come in and blow a save for you. He'd come in and say, hey, big stroker, I'm going to suck. And he would be awful. But every single time, no matter how poorly he was performing, you would hear, give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. And then the little guitar thing would start, and then he would come running out like, yeah, all right, and then just blow. He would be bad. Just absolutely awful. And, what was his name? Oh, he was a Milwaukee Brewers closer of some repute. I want to say he started with a T. Anyway, just reminded of that. Anyway, finishing out the proper. Thank you to everybody that's been donating. Had a few donations roll in. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions is where you can do that. That's I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. And I thank you all for doing that, helping out the show in that way. Speaking of Ferguson, Missouri, I've been talking about this a lot, but it's been in the news a lot. Some people say, oh, you're talking about it a lot. Well, yeah, because it's kind of a big deal. This is to the level, at least, it's occupying CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, probably. I'm going to watch MSNBC. It's all over social media. It's all over Reddit. Everybody, people who you, let's say, follow on social media for one thing that isn't news reporting or commentary on social topics is now weighing in on Mike Brown, the Mike Brown murder or killing, and Ferguson, Missouri. That's how big it is. That's how you know when something is a big deal. When pundits from other areas of news reporting or of entertainment start weighing in on something, when you see everybody come together, it's like, normally I talk about sports, but I got to talk about Ferguson, Missouri. Or normally I talk about financial news. Normally I talk about tech news. But now I want to talk about the police state. Now I want to talk about, this or that. That's how you know it's big news. So I maintain that, yes, while I, may be devoting time to it and burning calories talking about it, I maintain that it's worthwhile because, well, everybody's talking about it. And it's a really big deal. This is the first time, unlike Trayvon Martin, unlike other racial subtext issues, the Trayvon Martin, there have been a few other times where black men have been killed by police under questionable circumstances, we'll say. Unlike that, and unlike the even the Boston bombing, unlike even the G8 summit in Chicago a couple of years ago. Unlike all of that, we've all seen the best imagery I saw was a picture of, I believe, a Marine sniper in Baghdad or in Iraq somewhere, juxtaposed against the police marksman perched with a similar rifle, a similar-looking rifle with a long scope on it, a bipod deployed, and one was Baghdad, Iraq, Dateline tagged as in Baghdad, Iraq. I don't know that it actually was. And the other was Ferguson, Missouri. The other one was the guy that was sitting atop an armed vehicle pointing a loaded rifle with a long scope on it at protesters, at citizens of these United States. And it's very powerful stuff. And this is the first time this has really come home to roost without, in the wake of the Boston bombing, in the wake of shootings, you see heavy police presence. You see militarized police, but there's always kind of a reason for it. There's always a reason that a lot of people can kind of get behind. Hey, these guys just set off a fucking explosive device in a populated area. Oh, shit. All right, come on out. No, hey, there's this hostage situation. Oh, well, that would explain the militarized police force. Now, I have been, I believe, consistent in my distaste at that, even during the pursuit of Dzhokhar Tsarnaev through the suburbs of Massachusetts. Even then, I would point out the imagery of sheriff's deputies in Massachusetts looking like they were in fucking downtown Baghdad. Camouflage body armor, AR-15s, web gear with magazines all over the place. And I'd say, what the fuck? You're chasing some skinny douchebag who believes in God a little bit too much. You really need to be bursting into people's doors? Get the fuck out! Get down! Ah! And so I will talk about it a lot because I don't think it's something that can be or should be easily forgotten or the throttle pulled back on. Now, today, reports are the Ferguson County Police or St. Louis County Police or Ferguson Police released reports that Mike Brown was apparently the prime suspect in a, quote, strong-arm a strong-arm convenience store robbery. Where not armed robbery, not necessarily battery, but the idea of I'm going to take this, and if you try to stop me, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And there's apparently video of some guy very much looking like Mike Brown did, 6'4", 200 and something pounds, grabbing the collar of a convenience store clerk and shoving him away. That was it. And people, oh, you choked him. No, it was a collar grab. It looked like, at least it looked like to me, unless he's just got big, gigantic paws. And you can't help but when you grab a collar, you grab somebody's neck. And a lot of people are using this now. I'll get to people showing their ass about this on Twitter in a bit. But a lot of people are using this now to say, oh, everybody needs to take a step back and everybody needs to think, because look at this. He was the prime suspect in a robbery. And I saw that a lot, and everybody's going, yeah, and the tide of comments in Reddit changed abruptly, and now it was, everybody, look at this, oh my God, everybody's talking about how he was dead, but look at this, he robbed a guy, he assaulted and robbed somebody. And I can't help but, I've seen nobody, again, maybe it's me, maybe I'm crazy, but I've seen nobody say, yeah, so what? Nobody is taking my course of, yeah, he did. Don't even fight it. Don't, oh, well, it looks like he changed shoes and clothes, and oh, that may or may not have been him. He's a suspect, innocent until proven guilty, blah, 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 blah. No, just assume. Yeah, he assaulted and robbed that guy. Yeah. For what? Oh, a box of Swisher Sweets. Bad, awful cigars. $50 worth. That's a big-ass box of Swisher Sweets, by the way. They're like $3 a pop. So to get a $50 box, or it was like $48.90, whatever. To get a $60 box of Swisher Sweets, you got to get yourself a lot of Swisher Sweets. Just go to a cigar store. Really. You just don't spend. And I want to know why the Swisher Sweets were priced at the box level. Why are you pricing it that way? Who's going in going, yes, I want this many Swisher Sweets? Go to a cigar store. And yes, I know what the Swisher Sweets are being used for. You will get better. Go spend that $3 to $5 a pop on cigar store cigars, trust me, you'll be able to cut them out and you clear them out and then put something else in there and then roll them back up, and it'll be a lot better than your Swisher fucking Sweets, okay? Who goes in there looking to buy, like, I want 50 Swisher Sweets, please. Please. Thank you very much. But anyway, now people are using this, and I just say, assume it. Don't fight. Yes, Mike Brown assaulted and robbed a convenience store clerk or convenience store. And don't even say petty theft. No, because petty theft can be used even though it's an actual differentiation of a class of crime. There is petty theft. But petty, when people might think you're trying to, subtly manage the message, subtly manipulate what people think about the actions. Just say, no, he assaulted and robbed a guy. Right. Okay. 10 minutes before the bullets started flying that ended up in Mike Brown's, wherever he got shot. They haven't even released the autopsy yet. I wonder why. 10 minutes before, he assaulted and robbed a convenience store. Yeah. Yep. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And then he assaulted a police officer. Yes. Then he reached for the cop's gun. Yes. Yo, look at that. Well, at some point, I maintain, so he assaulted and robbed a guy, right? Right. And then he assaulted a police officer, was involved in a scuffle with the police officer, right? Right. Reached for the gun, right? Yeah. But the cop still got control of the gun, right? Well, yeah. So at a certain point, the police officer had the gun in his hands and Mike Brown was unarmed, right? Right. But he robbed the guy. Yeah, no. I don't disagree. No. Yeah. He did all that. He did all of it. Yes. Why is he dead? Why is he dead? When you're in a scuffle with somebody and you get the gun and you're a police officer, okay, not George fucking Zimmerman, where the guy's on ground and pound, whatever the terminology was. You're a fucking police officer. You're in your cruiser. You have your gun. You get it back. The guy assaulted you. Okay, well, you're a cop, aren't you? Didn't you kind of expect that kind of shit? Did you go into expecting, oh, man, if I get assaulted by these uppity Negroes, I'm going to fucking shoot one. Can't wait. Probably did. That's why you're in Ferguson, Missouri. But most cops probably don't go, man, I can't wait to get assaulted so I can shoot somebody. I can't wait to kill somebody. It's going to be great. At least I hope not. So you stipulate to all of it. Yes. Well, why was he buying Swisher Sweets? Because you can roll those into blunts. Yes. Mike Brown was assaulting and stealing Swisher Sweets so that he could go get fucking high. He was going to get so high on the most illegal drugs. Oh, my God. The most illicit substances known to man. Mike Brown was going to get high on those. He was going to get rip-roaring fucked up 6 ways to Sunday. He was going to be on another planet. He was going to get so high. So what? So what? I say this during the Trayvon Martin thing, because it's eerie how this whole thing about Mike Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, how it has all progressed so similarly to what happened in Florida with the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman thing. First, there was the result that Trayvon Martin was dead. And then the initial reports, George Zimmerman, not a cop, shot him, was investigated by police, cleared, and was not a police officer, was a gung-ho community activist, followed Trayvon Martin. The 911 tapes were released. And then pictures of Trayvon Martin started showing up. It's 17 years, or when he was like 15 years old, the young baby-faced Trayvon. And then there was a bit of a lull, and everybody kind of culled their narrative from just those facts. They all turned out to be facts, except for the whole, we edited the 911 tape to make George Zimmerman seem a lot more racist than he turned out to be. Except for that, which I don't know how George Zimmerman lost that lawsuit, but whatever. Aside from that, everybody, not all the facts, but facts nonetheless, and people culled the narrative from that. Okay, then this is probably just another uppity Negro, so we need to da-da-da. Now, then come the pictures of a muscular Trayvon Martin. Then come he was walking with Arizona iced tea and Skittles, which can be used in purple drink, which is popular among those kinds of people to get high. And what was he doing out at night anyway? He had been suspended for pot possession or having some kind of drugs. He was out probably looking to get high. He had tweeted about getting high. Here's a picture of him with a gun. This whole pushback against the initial portrait of Trayvon Martin. And then that was all. And then there was a little subtle racism, a healthy dose of skepticism, and I feel bad for the skeptics at the time, during the time of the Trayvon Martin, who had to align themselves with people that were not so subtly racist about, like, look at all these uppity black people, blah. But there was a skepticism and a pushback to the original message happened. And that's what's happening here. Originally, it was Big Mike Brown. It was Big Mike Brown. He was just a lovable, big, lovable bear. You wouldn't think twice about him. Now, there's pictures surfacing. Apparently, he's got a bottle of liquor in one hand and a gun in the other and a billfold in his mouth. Then there's he was 6'4". It turned from, it's just Big Mike. It's Big Mike. It turned from Big Mike to Big Mike. Big Mike's gonna come get you. And character assassination is the term being thrown around a lot. But who the fuck cares? The family, obviously, because they have an image of their relative, their son, nephew, whatever, in their head that they perhaps don't want to have sullied, or at least sullied in front of them. Understandable. But to everybody else, even to the people that are fighting against it, you don't know that that's Mike Brown. You don't know that this or that. I say, who cares? Yeah, so what? The guy likes to get high. The guy had a gun, or identified with, quote, thug culture. Or he had a gun. He liked the idea of having a gun and money and booze and all that stuff and partying. Just like I said at the Trayvon Martin time. So what? Yes, Trayvon Martin went out to get Arizona iced tea and Skittles so he could get to the moon fucked up on drink. So what? If people are, see, look at that. He was out getting Skittles so he could get high. What the fuck? They say, so what? Yeah, he was getting high. What about that excuses getting shot in the face? Or actually in the chest. And then you get other just really negative people, contrarian people that say, well, I'm not saying that that's an excuse, but that's just the way it is. Well, what the fuck? What would be the point in bringing up either Trayvon Martin's like to get high, or the what Swisher Sweets could be used for, the fact that he committed assault and robbery earlier? What does that have anything to do with the guy was shot by a police officer when he didn't have any fucking weapons in his hand? Then people fight this. I just say, he stole he stole the Swisher Sweets so that he could go smoke. Not even, he was gonna dip the Swisher Sweets in codeine and then put marijuana in them. Okay, that's what he was gonna go do. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was gonna get so high, and then he might fuck a white girl. Yeah. Yeah. What a bastard, right? He's still dead, and a cop shot him when he didn't have a fucking weapon in his hands. None of that, none of the assaults, none of the robbery, none of that matters. It shouldn't matter. And to bring it up and to point and say, it's just pettifogging. That's all it is. And speaking of pettifogging, there are some people that there's some people that are being, I don't know how to say this. There are some people that are racist that I didn't think were racist. And maybe it's just an attempt to be shocking. I don't know. Maybe it's an attempt to be hyperbolic, but I don't know. This would be a pretty weird hyperbolic troll. You know, you say something completely outlandish to get people's attention so that they pay attention, and you say, okay, now let's talk about it. What you do once in a while. Like, I fucking quit. And they're like, what? Let's talk about this. Or I do this. I hate you. Or, You don't really hate somebody, usually. I don't know. It's on the internet, people throw hate around a lot. Okay. But, you're in an argument with your significant other or relative. I hate you. But you don't really hate them. You just want to grab their attention, to let them know, hey, this is a serious situation. You're going to kill yourself with alcohol. Well, no, I just think you drink too much. That kind of thing. I don't think it's that. There are some people out there on Twitter who are just not being shy at all about firing shots across the bow. Very, white hooded shots across the bow of black people in the black community. And look, you can be, I'm not going to say, I am not of the mind, as much as people might not like it, I am not of the mind that you are obligated to like people. You are perfectly fine in not liking black people, not liking white people, not liking Latinos, not liking Asians, not liking homosexuals, not liking women, not liking men, not liking transgenders, not liking this, not liking that. You are perfectly fine. It's just, I don't like you. No. I am not going to like you. I am not going to be forced to like you. Nobody should force me to like you. And I will say yes. Yes. You should not be forced to swallow and accept and like people just because other people say you should. Okay. But to, at this point, launch off on racist tangents. Look at what they do. Look at these animals. How did the Civil Rights Act work out for you? That kind of stuff. It just fucking wow, man. Bad dog. That Family Guy bit where, what if you have a child and you have sex with a woman, you never call her again? Oh, well, Brian said, yeah, well, then you'd be a black man. And everybody go, oh, Brian, what the hell? He's, I'm sorry. It was my father talking. And the Stewie just, wow, bad dog. And you see a lot of people in instances like this. It's really odd. Certain people really show their asses. They're on Twitter, and maybe it's the 24/7. You always have something to say, and you always have an outlet for something for whatever it is you have to say. Twitter is always on. Maybe Twitter should have like a shutdown period. Should be something where it's like you cannot tweet between the hours of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. You can't do it. No Twitter for you. No nothing. You can set it at your own time. But Twitter is always there. Facebook is always there. Your blog, your YouTube channel, website, whatever. It's always there, always on. You always have a megaphone at your disposal. Especially, me. I've got a microphone, internet connection. I have a platform. Everybody has a platform in this day and age, and it's 24/7 round the clock. And maybe that's not good because sometimes there's a synergism surrounding, and let me tell you from the YouTube side and being negative, calling people out, this or that, there is a synergism surrounding, it's like a narcotic, surrounding saying outlandish things or saying things that are contrary to popular belief or saying something that nobody expected, and then people respond. And that response, especially as an entertainer, is like a narcotic. Because if your job is to entertain people in whatever way, and you say something outlandish and people respond, and people watch and extra eyes are put on you, you can't help but think, holy shit, I did something right. You could say, I don't like the Jews. And then a lot of people are paying attention to you, and you go, ooh, what did I do so right? I don't like this guy on YouTube. I don't like that guy. This guy's an asshole on YouTube. That guy's an asshole on YouTube. And people would watch and go, ooh, what's gonna be said next? Ooh. And people respond to the volatility, to the venomous speech, the venomous rhetoric. People respond to it, and there's a synergism about it, and it feeds on itself. And you might otherwise be a rational, sane person, but then you're on Twitter saying, oh, look at what these black people, go get the fuck to work, black people. Ha, ha, ha. You don't have jobs. It's hilarious. And it's not, I'm not going to go so far as to say, oh, it's sickening. Oh, it's sickening. Because I dislike that. I'm going to try to say hate less, I think. If I'm going to rail against it, I should probably take some of my own medicine there. I dislike that. Oh, it's sickening. It's gross. I'm sickened by it. I'm not sickened by it. I feel fine. I'm going to take a sip of water right now. I feel good. It's just disheartening to think that somebody, anybody really, nobody in particular, could work themselves up into a tizzy where they just really do anything they can to take shots at people they don't like. And it could be a group of people, it could be a single person, it could be, here and there. And to watch that unfold, it's rather sad is what it is. It's not pitying sad. No, I pity you. I pity the fool. It's just, I thought that there was more to this person or to you or to whomever than that. But, you got fired for saying racist stuff, and now you're saying more racist stuff. Eventually, everybody's out to get me. And if you go through life and you say, well, that person tried to fuck me, and that person tried to fuck me, and that person tried to fuck me, and that person called me an asshole, but they're really an asshole, and that person called me an asshole, but they're really an asshole. At some point, you have to look around and go, maybe it's me. maybe they're right. Right? I question reality sometimes with the crazy shit people say. I had a Fallout 3 modded Let's Play that I started on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/leftyox. I recently watched a series of videos from Dan's Gaming. He's a well-known Twitch streamer, and I had Fallout 3 on the PC, but I knew that it didn't work well, it didn't run well on quad-core PCs. It was designed when dual-core PCs were the biggest and baddest thing around. And then quad-core came out pretty much, I want to say, a little bit after that, and they didn't work. And so I watched this guy's video series on how to do it and how to mod it and how to, make it look really nice. And I figured, oh, shit. And I did this like 2 weeks ago. And so I recorded, and I plan on streaming here in the future modded Fallout 3. Because everybody can mod Fallout New Vegas, but modding Fallout 3, I could only play it on console. Now I can play it on PC, 1080p, 60 frames per second. Oh, this is going to be awesome. And I recorded it, and I uploaded it. I don't fucking, that's what I do. And apparently, I went to go watch the Bears game. The first video went live. I came back, and apparently I'd copied Wings of Redemption, who had recently started a Fallout 3 Let's Play again. And I just... And so many people said, oh, you copied Wings, you're copying Wings. I honestly began to question reality to go, wait, did I fucking really? Did I? So wait, no, I don't even watch YouTube videos. I subscribe to people. I don't fucking watch YouTube videos. I used to. I do other things now. I don't watch YouTube stuff. But apparently, I had convinced myself the sheer amount of people saying, "Oh, copier," made me go, "Did I really fucking copy this? Did that really just happen?" So, in the story of Michael Brown and all the fallout from that, there's a lot of pundits who have previously been labeled racist, bigoted, that kind of questionable, in those questionable margins. And they have always said, I'm not racist, I'm just a skeptic, and that's all that there is. But I look at what you have to say, and I see a whole lot of racism, not a lot of skepticism. And it makes me wonder, maybe some people should honestly look and go, what, am I being skeptical or just kind of racist? Lots of people showing their ass on Twitter with regards to Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin 2.0. And it's going to suck because nobody is willing to take the route of, like I said, of just admit it. Yes, my son liked to get high. So the fuck what? Why does that deserve a bullet in the brain? Yeah, my son committed assault and robbery. Okay, does that mean he can be executed in the middle of the street? One of these things does not translate well into the other. So what? Yeah, he stole Swisher Sweets because he liked to get high. Yes, there's pictures of him with liquor and guns because he liked those things. So the fuck what? None of those things carry with them a death sentence. But when people don't respond that way, the people on the other side of the coin, or on the other side of the fence, the people believed to be pushing back against the liberal agenda, feel that they're making headway. Ooh, I said this and they didn't respond to it. They've got nothing to say in response to this. Ooh, look at me. I must have found a chink in the armor. Let's tug on this yarn and see what else comes with it. No, just stop them cold. Right? Jack Ryan in Clear and Present Danger. There's no sense defusing a bomb unless it's already once it's already gone off. Were you and just drug kingpin friends? No, we were great friends. Did Michael Brown steal these Swisher Sweets to go get high, cut out their innards, dip them in codeine, and then wrap them up in the marijuana so that he could get really fucked up? Yes, he did. He really liked getting high. Have you tried it? It's pretty good. Let's do some news. We got some short news topics to cover today. Lighter in feel than the very heavy police state Michael Brown kind of stuff. We'll be talking about a Venezuelan woman with 1.7 kilograms of cocaine in her breasts. Another woman arrested for engaging in an intimate act with lawn chairs. Gene Simmons of Kiss tells depressed people to kill themselves. That's nice. And this is from SunnyDayWorld.com. Woman doctor forced female employee to motorboat her breasts. It's the news of Lefty. Let's talk about cocaine in the boobs. Cocaine boobs. This is from ABC.net. A Venezuelan woman with 1.7 kilograms of cocaine hidden in her breast implants had been arrested at Madrid airport after arriving on a flight from Colombia. Police said during a check of passengers from a plane from Bogota, the gestures and behavior of a supposed tourist raised the suspicious narcotics agents, or raised the suspicions of narcotics agents. After a baggage search revealed nothing, female officers conducted a body search of the 43-year-old woman and discovered, quote, certain irregularities and deformations in both breasts, end quote. So they were feeling her titties. That is some good hot lesbo action down at the customs. That sounds like that's how a bad porn starts out. Like, ma'am, can you come in here? Opening scene, you're at an airport, right? And then a bad mock-up of an airport because it's a porn, so they know they're not like renting out. They're not shutting down LAX at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning so that they can film there. It's just a bad mock-up. They do long shots of an actual airport. And then they just do a bad mock-up in somebody's garage or something. They walk into the customs agents like, this female officer, we found nothing in your baggage, but your flight from Bogota an informant told us that there's cocaine aboard. This female officer is going to perform a body search. And then there's the casual banter and bad acting, and takes off the shirt, and then the customs agent, the female customs agent notices, of course she's hot too. They're both smoking hot for some reason. And she notices irregularities in her bra. It says, take off your bra. And then the Venezuelan woman, again, smoking hot, of course. And then, of course, it began. And then we got hot lesbo action in the customs office. But at that moment, the suspect started to act nervously and confessed that she was carrying implants with cocaine inside. The woman was taken to a hospital where the implants were removed and found to contain 1.7 kilograms of the drug. Although unusual, it is not the first time Spanish police have seen drug smugglers using breast implants to try to beat detection. In December 2012, a Panamanian woman arriving in Barcelona from Bogota was found with 1.4 kilograms of cocaine in her fake breasts. Her recent insertion wounds were still bleeding under bandages. At least wait for them to fucking heal. Now, I got a few problems with this. Drug dealers of the world, or drug smugglers, listen up, okay? Stop flying out of Bogota. They are going to search you. Get a connecting flight out of some shit. Go from Bogota to Qatar or something, or some other friendly, drug-friendly state that doesn't care. But anywhere but Bogota. Stop flying your drugs. If you're trying to smuggle them in, please don't fly them out of Bogota. If you want to win the game of drug smuggling, any flight from Bogota, landing in, if it's direct flight, Bogota to Barcelona, Bogota to Dallas, Bogota to New York, they're going to think you're smuggling drugs because you're in Bogota. Don't do that. Go to Chile, go to Brazil, Bogota to Rio de Janeiro, Bogota to somewhere in Mexico. Do that. Connecting flights are your friend. Also, it seems a little odd. 1.7 kilograms is almost 7.5 pounds. Okay? It's almost 7.5 pounds of cocaine is 1.7 kilograms. Now, that's spread across 2 titties. So what are you looking at? You're looking at 3 3/4 pounds for each breast. That's a lot of breast. Like a lot of tit. 3 3/4 pounds, almost 4 pounds. 3 3/4, let's call it 3/2. 3.5 pounds. Find something that's 3.5 pounds and pick that up. And then if you are so inclined or you have it available, go find a nice busty woman. And ask for science, of course, and drug smuggling science, if you can hold her breast. And hold the 3.5 pound weight in one hand and the busty woman's titty in the other. And she'd be like, oh, shit, okay, that's a lot for breast implants. There's probably going to be, I want to know, do they put some kind of wiring in there to help support it? I'm guessing 3.5 pounds, that's going to look weird in skin. Breasts aren't, those are going to be some mighty hangers. If you're just putting it in there, just raw 3.5 pounds of coke on skin. And also, I have to question the efficiency of this drug smuggling tactic. Now, I know efficiency costs jobs. I understand that. But, you're paying... I think about it this way, okay? Whatever it costs to send cocaine to wherever you want to get it. So, all right, so 1.7 kilograms of cocaine is worth what? That's what? $10,000 on the street. A kilo is 10 grand, 15 grand. So you're looking at $30,000, let's say, in cocaine, 1.7 kilograms. So you got 30 grand, 30 G's invested in this. But in order to transport the cocaine and actually use it, you need 2 breast surgeries. You need breast augmentation and then breast reduction. Usually those run about 10 to 15 grand each. So you've got 30 grand invested in this product that you're sending, but you're spending on both ends effectively $20,000 to get it in and get it out. You're spending 2/3. That's 60% of your product cost eaten up in transport. That's not even counting production. I'm guessing production probably in that part of the world isn't much, but that seems like a lot. 60% in transport. Mother of God! Imagine if shipping and handling for anything you bought was 60% of the sale price. My God! And also, the street price that we're talking about, that's the street, that's retail. These are distributors. The guys sending the woman with the fake cocaine titties through the airport, they're not the same guys that are there waiting to slice her open and get the cocaine out and selling it on the street. These are distributors. So they're selling at a lower rate than the street price because, the guys on the street have to cover their nut too. So we're talking distributor prices, and you're still eating up $20,000 just in transport. Not even counting the transcontinental flights and production. You got to step your game up, drug smugglers. And isn't it sad that this is how far people have to go to get high? People want to get high. And these people from wherever they are, whatever parts of the world they're from, are going to find ways to provide these, quote, vices to these people. People want to snort cocaine. They like it. They're adults. They've tried it once, and they go, it's pretty good. I like it. Everybody's all about the Mexican drug cartels. Oh, they're so evil. Well, maybe you're creating a market for them to be evil. Let them be out in the open about drugs, running drugs, because people like to get fucking high. They've got it. They want to bring it to their customers. It's probably very expensive to run an illegal operation. It's probably very expensive to do that. There are probably many illegal drug operations that would rather be legitimate, because paying people, bribing officials to cover up murders and the like, they don't like that. They would probably rather just be honest businessmen. Yes, I provide a need to people. I provide a product that people want. People in America and people in Europe want to get high on cocaine and marijuana. I provide that to them. There's nothing wrong there. It's gotten so bad, our vilification of these recreational drugs has gotten so bad that women are putting it in their tits, nearly 7 pounds of this illicit substance into their breasts, and trying to carry it across borders. Just let them do it in a bag. What the fuck? You're really, what you're doing is incentivizing very dangerous medical procedures. Because this woman, honestly, I also want to know what's going to happen afterwards. Because you have to take you had the breast augmentation for the cocaine. Then your skin stretches to form around the cocaine package. Then you have it taken out on the other end. That's a wild ride for your breasts. Like a really, really wild ride for the skin surrounding your titties if you're just smuggling coke. Let's think somebody, this is going to be the platform I run on. Somebody needs to think of the drug mules. Will somebody think of the drug mules? We're already giving licenses to illegal, undocumented immigrants. They're not technically citizens, but they have the privileges that citizenship grants them. They don't really pay taxes, I don't think. So, okay, you think about them. If you can run for office in America, in part on a platform for undocumented citizens, okay? People who can't vote. I'm going to take care of the undocumented migrants. Okay, perfectly fine, perfectly noble, okay, because a lot of them are just good, honest, hardworking people like you and me. All right, I got to say that now. So, okay, why not take it a step further? Will somebody think of the drug mules, please? It pains me to think that there are women in parts of the world that would sacrifice their breasts for cocaine. And the only reason they do so is because we come down so hard on what is just a victimless vice. Well, actually, it's not victimless now. The victims are their boobs. And that's a crime, and that's a travesty. And we need to do something about it. And it starts with repealing the blanket ban on illicit substances like cocaine and marijuana. In other news, in humanity is fucking awesome news. I can't believe that. I'm going to try to read this as straight as possible. This is from ComoNews.com. Woman arrested for engaging in intimate act with lawn chairs. Dateline Seattle. Public nudity by itself will not get you arrested in Seattle. But police say one woman turned her nudity into indecent exposure when she committed a sex act with a Beacon Hills family lawn furniture. According to police, nudity becomes criminal if it, quote, causes a person to be reasonably experience fear, alarm, or concern, end quote. That was the case on August 4th when an extremely intoxicated 33-year-old woman wandered into a yard in the 78,000 block of Beacon Avenue South. With several members of a family looking on in horror, police say the woman hiked up her dress and engaged in an intimate act with several lawn chairs. She then began urinating on the lawn before quite purposefully exposing her genitalia and then posterior to the family inside the home, according to police. The family called 911 and officers arrived moments later and arrested the woman. She was booked into King County Jail for indecent exposure. With several members of the family looking on in horror, police say the woman hiked up her dress and engaged in an intimate act with several lawn chairs. Several lawn chairs. So I think we all can guess what she was doing with the lawn chairs. Can we all? There was penetration. I'm guessing penetration. But one wasn't good enough. She wanted a gangbang of lawn chairs. And so she went from one to the other. Was it all unprotected? There's got to be dangers with that, right? You know, because if you've been with one lawn chair leg, you've been with all the other lawn chair or vaginas that lawn chair leg has had. I mean, it's really dangerous. You sleep with one person, you sleep with one lawn chair leg, you're sleeping with every other person that lawn chair leg has been with. Be careful, ladies. Or guys, too. I mean, we got places that can go, too. Protected sex is where it's at. But something tells me she wasn't carrying a roll of condoms, rolling them purposefully on the legs of each lawn chair. And then the next paragraph just kills it. The next paragraph just kills me. She then began urinating on the lawn because, you know, after some very, very serious penetration via lawn chairs, via multiple lawn chairs, lawn chair gangbang, if you will, she then began urinating. Who doesn't want to pee after that? You know, you got stuff in there, you're jostling around, especially if you're shit canned. If you were shit housed and you've been drinking a lot, you've got stuff poking around in there, you got to go. You got to happen. Got to fucking happen. She then began urinating on the lawn before, and this is a quote, quite purposefully exposing her genitalia. I want to know, how do you establish intent? There's a great scene from a Clint Eastwood movie. Where Harry Callahan is defending, I think he beat down some rapist, and he said when a man is chasing the man had intent to rape, so I beat him, and the police chief said, "How did you establish intent, Callahan?" He says, "Well, Inspector, when a man's chasing a woman down the alley with a hard-on and a butcher knife, I figure he's not out collecting for the Red Cross." And I want to know, similarly, how do you establish intent for the woman, like quite purposefully exposing her genitalia? Like, there's purpose behind this exposure of my genitalia right now. I want to know, how do you establish intent? Maybe she just, but here it is. This is out there, man. I'm just out here being me. You're in there looking at me. It's not my fault. But here it is. Look at it if you want. To me, that doesn't belie intent. And then posterior to the family inside the home. Nothing like a good sex show. You're 33 years old and you get rip-roaring drunk, wander onto somebody's property, rape their lawn chairs. Now, here's a question. Did the lawn chairs give positive consent? Because if not, that's rape, right? If the lawn chair, because lack of no is not yes. Women's Lib has taught me that. The lack of a no is not a yes. So I have to ask, did the lawn chairs get proper consent? Did they sign a consent form? Or was there any kind of affirmative consent? Yes, I want you to do this. Because the lawn chairs is out there, man. Their legs are just, rock solid, hard, rigid, they're just there. You can't just go around squatting on those anytime you please. You gotta ask first. Rape is not okay, ladies. And guys, regretting it in the morning doesn't mean rape, okay? Just because you regret it in the morning doesn't mean she raped you. Keep that in mind. I don't want to hear any more of this crap about, oh, he raped me. I just regretted it. I didn't like it. No. Practice safe sex when you're fucking lawn chairs. This is from SundayWorld.com. A woman doctor forced female employee to motorboat her breasts before calling the worker a titty baby. Oh. Man, I love being a human. A report has been released alleging that a doctor unethically doled out powerful prescription drugs and repeatedly exposed herself at the office, including forcing a female coworker to motorboat her surgically enlarged breasts. Were they enlarged with cocaine? Maybe she was snorting cocaine. Maybe it's a little hole there and she just a little bit, during the in-between patients. I think there's something to this story. There's something we're not being told. She also has a criminal record. She was also involved in petty theft before asking the lady to motorboat her. Dr. Therese Montine Duffy, pick a fucking last name, please, who runs a weight loss practice in West Virginia, U.S., which claims to specialize in, quote, chronic pain and opioid dependency. Wait. How do you specialize in those two things? One causes the other, right? If you have chronic pain, isn't that one of the routes to being dependent on opioids? Isn't that it? If you're really in pain all the time and never mind, you're taking opiates, you're probably going to become dependent on them. What kind of business model is we specialize in both of these things? Specialized in chronic pain and opioid dependency and promotes, quote, wellness for your mind, body, and spirit, is under investigation by the state's medical board. She faces sanctions for allegedly forcing her employees to fill out blank prescription slips for powerful painkillers and other drugs when she was out of the office. Complaints of a sexual nature have been made against Dr. Duffy, which claim that after she underwent breast augmentation surgery, she repeatedly exposed her post-augmentation breasts to staff and patients at the clinic. She also reportedly rubbed them against staff and allowed or permitted drug salespeople to feel her breasts while staff or patients were present. In early 2012, Duffy allegedly placed her hands on the head of a woman known only as Complainant R. Dr. Duffy pulled Complainant R's head between Dr. Duffy's breasts and asked Complainant R to, quote, motorboat her, the complaint states. This is the greatest part, too. The Urban Dictionary defines motorboating as, quote, the act of pushing one's face in between two ample breasts and rocking one's head side to side very rapidly while making a vigorous, lip-vibrating brrr sound. Later that same day, Duffy grabbed Complainant R by the back of the head and kissed her on the lips, the complaint continues. Complainant R told Duffy the actions were unwelcome and asked her to stop. Duffy says Complainant R was being a titty baby, the complaint says. Look, I mean, of all the workplaces to be in, okay, there's rape going on and all this. But, a workplace where your boss repeatedly exposes her post-augmentation breasts to staff and patients at the clinic, it sounds like the patients might like it. What if it's part of the medical procedure? What if it's part of the rehabilitation process? Hey, you're going through withdrawals, you're going through detox because you're dependent upon opioids. Here are my titties. Take your mind off of the excruciating pain you're feeling right now. And also a workplace where your boss rubs her large augmented boobs against staff and allowed or permitted drug salespeople to feel her breasts while staff or patients were present. That sounds like a really nice place to work. There's no violence. You got job security. You're pulling down a paycheck. You work in the medical industry, and you get to put that on your resume, and you get a nice boob show once in a while. Every once in a while, the doctor comes up to you and wants to experiment with other girls and asks you to motorboat her tits. I don't see a problem, personally. I mean, it seems as though somebody may be looking for something to sue somebody about. Because if I, a single version of me was employed at such a place, fuck YouTube, man, I'm out. I'm going to work at this medical joint where the boss is showing me her titties and asking me to motorboat him once in a while. This sounds like a great place. She probably gets great deals on drugs, too. I fail to see a problem with Dr. Therese Montine Duffy. She just a woman who's proud of her breasts. A woman who does that, women power, be proud of yourself, proud of your body, right? Proud of your breasts, proud of this, cleavage, yeah, power, embolden that. But, don't be showing off them titties. Show off your titties, but don't show off your tits. We need to shrink down the message for women. We need to make it more, just here's what you can do, here's what you can't do. Be proud of yourself and be proud of your body, and don't be afraid to show off your body. And it's either that or it's you can be proud of yourself, but don't show off your body, because then there's going to be a fucking criminal complaint filed against you because you're exposing your tits. I remember that there was an MTV real life episode, God, many years ago, called I Have Breast Implants. And it was the greatest thing for like a 12-year-old boy. I forget how old I was at the time. Certainly not old enough to know how the internet works for porn. But it was the greatest thing because on MTV, on cable, they were showing women's breasts. It was about all these, 4 or 5 women who went to get breast augmentation. And they showed titty. Not even like they tried to blur out the nipple or anything like that. It was just bam, here are titties. And I'm in junior high or whatever, and I'm like, fucking A right, this is the greatest thing. Who would complain about breasts in a medical, you go to a doctor's office, you're on edge, you're getting tested for stuff, especially if you're chronic pain. You're in chronic pain if you're at this place, or you're dependent upon opioids. So if you're at this place, you're not feeling well. You're on edge because you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know what your medical future holds. And here comes this hot smoking doctor who wants to show you her breastises. And she's going to say, go ahead, feel them. There's not cocaine in there. Yay. And maybe there is cocaine. Maybe it's a little bit extra. Yeah. Who would complain about that? Honestly. All right. Let's, it doesn't sound like a bad place to work is all I'm saying. Let's bring it home. Another great episode of The Lefty Show. I thank you all for joining. Happy Friday to you. Thank you for joining me on The Lefty Show. I had a great time putting on the show for you today. I hope you had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody that's been watching the show in its YouTube formation. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can do that. You can also find vlogs and gaming content there. YouTube.com/LeftyOX. Thank you to everybody that's been following me on Twitter. Twitter.com/Lefty643 is where you can do that, or just at Lefty643 on Twitter. If you want to share the show with friends, family, and coworkers, I greatly encourage you to do so, and I thank you all for doing so. You're helping the show grow. Leaps and bounds, we're growing. Head on over to wherever you get your podcasts, Android, iTunes, Store, iOS. Just search The Lefty Show. You'll find us there. And if you want to help out the show monetarily, donate. You can do so at imraising.com/643 Productions. Anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Enjoy your weekend. I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Bye.
Pay that man his money!